Hello, my dear students. Hope you all are doing well. I welcome you all for your English online class. Children, kindly follow the below mentioned instructions. Use earphone or headphone for a better learning experience. Keep a notebook and a pen handy to make notes. Read the text on the screen. Sit at a quiet place. You may pause the video till you get ready to resume or when you have to make a note of important points. My dear children, topic for today is scene poem, poem number 4.1. Please listen. What is scene poem? A scene poem refers to the one you might have discussed or seen before and is used to test the knowledge that you have grasped by understanding it. It includes questions for which you have to give an answer. There are some misconceptions related to the way of answering the scene poem. Children, pay attention while I'm reading the misconceptions for you. It is possible to understand the key idea of the poem by just reading the first and the last sentence. But this is not correct. Reading the questions first will help to understand the poem better. This is also not always true because it is not possible for a person to remember all the questions. Also, the questions are sometimes indirect in nature. The order of the questions is not always in accordance with the progression of the poem. It is advisable to avoid these misconceptions in order to get better insights about the poem. Children, here are some important points to be remembered to solve scene poem. So pay attention. Read the poem moderately. That is neither too fast nor too slow. Get involved with the poem to understand it. Underline important lines or parts of the poem to answer the questions. It will also help to understand the main idea of the poem or the tone or mood of the poet. Try to translate a complex line in an easy one in your own words and your own language. This will help you in analyzing the main idea of the poem and seeking the cause and effects of the poem. Underline or mark the keywords. These will help you discover the logical connections in the poem and help in understanding it better. Try to understand some certain unfamiliar words by reading the line thoroughly. The theme of the line will make you understand the meaning of the words. Children, here is a small tip for you to remember. So every time you read something, do not ignore an unknown word to find its meaning immediately. This will help you a lot to learn new words, but don't forget to use them in your day-to-day conversation whenever possible. In this way, keep working on your vocabulary without stopping. So let us practice one scene poem. Read the below mentioned extract carefully and answer the following questions. And I can do for myself. I am not helpless. May be discouraged and faltering, but not helpless. When you do something for me that I can and need to do for myself, you contribute to my fear and inadequacy. But when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can stop trying to convince you and get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. And when that's clear, the answers are obvious and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. Perhaps that's why prayer works sometimes for some people, because God is mute and He doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and lets you work it out for yourself. So please listen and just hear me. And if you want to talk, wait a minute for your turn and I will listen to you. So here the extract ends. So let us read the questions and understand the questions and see how to answer the question. Okay, children? Question number 1 says, when can the poet finally get about his business? So, when you go back and see this stanza saying, but when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can stop trying to convince you and get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. Okay? So when you read this stanza again, you come to a conclusion and write the answer as the poet can finally get about his business when the person he is talking to accept the fact that the poet feels what he feels. Children, you always have to write the answer in a sentence. One word, one phrase is not acceptable. Because if the question is for 1 mark, so you will be getting only half a mark because your sentence is incomplete or it is grammatically incorrect. Okay? So question number 2 says, when do irrational feelings make sense? So the answer is, irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind those feelings. Clear? Next question is, how does the poet explain that God is mute? So let us go back and see the stanza that perhaps that's why prayer works sometimes for some people, because God is mute and He doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and lets you work it out for yourself. So the answer will be, the poet explains that God is mute by saying that God doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and let us work out things for ourselves. So what is the poet trying to tell us? The poet says God never gives us advice. God never tells us, okay, I'm going to do this thing for you. He never gives us solution. He just listens to us and He let us work out things for ourselves. That is, He gives us strength. He gives us courage to fight for whatever bad situation we are going through. Clear? Okay. Then what must we do if we wish to talk? So the answer is, if we wish to talk, we must first listen and then wait for our turn to talk. Because if you are talking, I am talking, we both are talking together, no one will be able to understand what we are trying to say or what message we want to convey to each other. You agree with me, children? Okay. Then, see, question number 5 and question number 6 is somewhat a personal response question. Okay, so you have to write these answers in your own words. So this answers what I've given you, that is the answer, what is my personal response. Okay, so you have to write the answers in a same manner, with a proper and appropriate punctuation mark, and with a proper English. The sentence has to be grammatically correct, children. Okay, so question number 5 says, what do you understand by the line, prayers work sometimes for some people? Explain. So answer is, many things can be wrought by prayers, but this does not mean that we will pray for help and do nothing from our side. Now what I mean to say in this sentence is, we can get everything through prayer, because God is great. He definitely loves us and He will give us what we want. But then we just keep on praying and we are not helping ourselves and we are not doing anything. So you think God will really help? There's a proverb called that God helps those who help themselves, right? So this is what I meant to say in the first line. Okay, in the first sentence. Okay, then I continue saying, if we want success in life, it is very essential that we do hard work and persevere. When we pray, God listens and hears us, and then let us work things out for ourselves. Prayer is something that is must in our lives, but God will not deem it fit to help us if we do not put in a bit of work and persevere to accomplish whatever we have begun. Clear, children? Okay. Question number 6 is, write in your own words that how you can be a good listener. So this is my response. Your response may differ from mine, but it has to be grammatically correct. The answer should be relevant. It should be pleasing to the reader. It should not be a nonsense answer, children. It should be relevant, it should be appropriate, and whatever you write should make sense. It should not be senseless. Okay? So the answer for this question I have written, first of all, we must not interrupt the person who is talking. We must wait till that person stops and asks for our advice. Only if our advice is asked for, we should give it. We should not get angry and frustrated and start interrupting him. Okay? Then identify and write figure of speech with explanation. First sentence is, listen. All I ask is that you listen. So children, as I already told you, as I've already taught you, that one sentence may have more than one figure of speech, right? So there are children who may think that it is repetition. There are children who may think that is alliteration or anything. So I've given all the four figure of speech which I thought it is suiting the sentence. So you can write either of one, but then the explanation should be appropriate to what figure of speech is. So for this sentence I have given repetition because the word listen is repeated for poetic effect. If you think it is alliteration, so you have to write alliteration because the letter L is repeated for poetic effect. If you think it is exclamation, so you have to write exclamation because an emotion is expressed with an exclamation mark. If you think it is apostrophe, so you have to give an explanation like apostrophe because the poet is addressing to the readers and they are not going to respond in real. Right? Because apostrophe is we are talking to someone, we are addressing someone who is not going to reply or who is not going to reply in real. Right? Sentence number 2 is, but when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel. So the answer is repetition because the word feel is repeated for poetic effect. Alliteration because the letter F is repeated for poetic effect. See, I have given the maximum figure of speech as per sentences. So you can write either of one with a proper explanation. Okay, children, then only you will be able to score 1 mark. Clear? So here comes the home assignment, children. As I have solved one extract for you, I want you to solve one extract for yourself so that even you will get an idea that how easily you can solve the scene poem. Okay, so read the below mentioned extract carefully and answer the following questions. When I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice, you have not done what I asked. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problem, you have failed me, strange as that may seem. Listen. All I ask is that you listen. Don't talk or do, just hear me. Advice is cheap. 20 cents will get you both dear Abby and Billy Graham in the same newspaper. So children, I have given you 5 questions. You need to write this in your English notebook. What is the difference between hear and listen? Question number 2. What is the poet talking? Who is the poet talking to? Question number 3. What must have happened before the speaker says all this? Question number 4. Explain what you understand by the phrase advice is cheap. Question number 5. Don't talk or do, just hear me. Identify and write the figure of speech with explanation. You need to write all these 5 questions along with answers in your English notebook. So children, as we all needs to speak English fluently, we are studying in English medium school. So we should know to speak English, and we all dream of speaking English without making any grammatical mistake, without stammering, without hesitating, right? So for that, what is important? We need to practice English, and most important thing, we need to learn vocabulary. When can a person say that his or her English is very good? When the one who's speaking is using good vocabulary, right? So from today onwards, I am going to give you 2 activities. One is spoon feeding. That is, I am going to give you 3 words. I am going to give you meaning for it. You just need to frame sentences in your own words. When you frame sentences in your own words, children, you will be able to understand what grammatical mistakes you are making, and mistakes only teaches us that how to become perfect, and practice makes man perfect, right? So if you copy from internet, if you copy from any of the textbooks, any of the reference book, if you ask a tuition teacher to help, it will really not help you, children. You frame the sentences. You can talk to your tuition teacher. That teacher, this is the sentence what I have framed. Can you please let me know is it correct or not? And if it is incorrect, so can you please correct me? By this you will learn. But if you keep on copying from here and there, it will not help you. It will not benefit you. Believe you me. And activity 2 is quite challenging. What you need to do is you need to find 3 difficult words, search meaning for it in the dictionary, and then frame sentences in your own words. When you have an habit of writing things in the notebook, you will remember things, children. And I want each child to write this activity. I may any time, any moment call you in school for the correction of your notebook. And if your book is not completed, I am going to talk to the supervisor, sir, and he will take necessary strict action. Start being serious, children. It is very important. Next year you will go in 10th standard. And if your English is not proper, you think you will be able to get good marks, good percentage in 10th standard? Not really, right? So please cooperate, understand your responsibility towards your studies, and start practicing from today onwards. So let us discuss the words. Luster means shine. Aghast means shocked or horrified. Maimed means injured or disabled. You need to frame sentences for the word luster, aghast, maimed. These three words should be there in your sentence. One sentence for luster, one sentence for aghast, one sentence for maimed. I have given you the meanings for it. Okay. Then in activity 2, you will search for 3 difficult words. You will search meaning for it. And then you will frame the sentences. And no child will copy his or her words and meanings. Okay. You please do it for yourself. If you are being honest to yourself, you are being honest to the society in return. If you cannot be honest to yourself, I am sorry to say, it is very difficult for you to, success in your life. Only honesty and hard work pays. Okay, children? So we are done with the lecture. Thank you so much for your time and attention. God bless you all. Stay home. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.